bag workout.
Alright, so I'm starting off day one of the bag workout videos. Just back from coronavirus layoff here on this video. Wearing my son's favorite shirt, my South Park shirt. Yeah, I'm just putting on my gloves. So, I actually think for not hitting the bag or anything solid for 3 months, two months, something like that. I feel like actually it wasn't that bad of a session. I was very cautious in the beginning, but I could definitely feel that I had my confidence still. The one thing you don't really do when you shadow box or worry about is that you're not circling all the time. Especially not if you're doing it in front of a camera. But that's one thing you have to get back to used to is circling and then cutting angles off the circle as opposed to cutting angles in place or off of a bounce. It's a little different. Slight adjustments to big adjustments. That's a difficult thing to do. So you always got to work on that. Whenever you have a bag and you're hitting the bag and you have the ability to move, like in other words, it's not against the wall or something like that, which is a travesty, then you should be circling one way or the other and then changing directions. That's so helpful. You shouldn't be like tripping over yourself when you're sparring. You shouldn't be like having to think about your feet. You're having to think about your feet while you're sparring, or honestly, it's only going to come out in sparring and drills, two-person drills, that you're actually going to circle at all. Some people do drills where they literally just stand in front of each other and just do go back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, and they never end up throwing in circling or any kind of movement. They only do their like movement during shadow boxing or during the sparring, because you can't ignore the need for movement while you're sparring, or you'll just get hit over and over again, and that's not good for anybody. I'm really right hook heavy on this. Lead right hook heavy on this. This day, a bag workout. I don't have really exits because I haven't been hitting a bag or sparring or doing anything like that. I'm like throwing combinations and stuff, and then just slowly walking away from the bag. That's not good for. Well, that was a good pivot, but that's not good for your timing and your practice. You should always have entrance and exit, and when you do, your entrance should be faster than your neutral movement, and your exit should be faster than your neutral movement. So neutral movement has like a basic rhythm, something you would like play a simple song to, but the entrance and exit are at least twice as fast, I'd say. So, I mean, I can't really put a number to it, but that's what it feels like. It feels like you're going at least twice as fast. And then you should do the same exiting. I was like turning my hook over to the body a little bit too much, so I wasn't cutting into the bag up, but yet I slide my hand over, and that's not good. So if you're throwing a body shot, you're always trying to like lift up into the ribs. Or when you hit the bag, of course, the bag. But if you have your wrist over, like you're going to dig into the body, but then you don't, you go flat into the bag, you're going to hurt your wrist. It's like clubbing is what they call it. They call it that for like a chopping right hand or a clubbing, right hand. That's to the face. Those can work to the face, but to the body, you're not going to get anything off of it, and you're most likely going to hurt your wrist. So it's not good. You want to have your knuckles and wrist lined up for the attack. I'm circling back and forth. There's, again, 2 guys working right in front of me, so I'm staying on the one side of the bag. It's limiting my movement a little bit and how hard I'm hitting the bag and what the sequences are, because I don't want the bag to get out of control at all. See, in the beginning, you can tell that I haven't sparred or done drills for a long time because my roll to hook is a bit slow. So I'll do the roll, and then I'll throw the hook. I can't really roll and throw the hook off of the roll, it should be like one motion if you're going to do it. If you're going to roll and you're not going to throw something right off the roll, then you should go into a defensive posture or like get out or come in. You shouldn't roll, take a tempo, and then throw your hook, whatever shot you're going to throw. Hold on a sec. Broken back. Trying to get baby monitor. Baby's too loud. Oh, did it. Baby monitor achieved. What's with the baby? I don't need to hear him. So, anyways. So working with the body right now. What time am I at? I'm at 7:30. 7:27, 27, 28, 29, 30. Alright, so obviously bad cardio and shadow boxing cardio, 2 different things. I'm slowing down quite a bit already. I'm only 7.5 minutes in. So I'm just killing time, pushing the bag, trying to catch the bag coming in. It's a great usage of the bag, actually. If you don't have wraps on or you don't know how to line your punches up right, it's very dangerous to, nice flurry. It's very dangerous to have the bag coming towards you, swinging towards you, and then you throw a punch, because it adds a lot of impact. So generally throw those shots just faster, like a quick punch, as opposed to really wailing on the bag in that scenario. Because if you're gonna hit the bag for more than 5 minutes, then you're gonna need the wrist to be able to hold up the whole time, and you don't want to do any damage that lasts, for a long time, possibly a lifetime. That's a nice 1-2 little roll afterwards. Starting to throw in some defensive maneuvers here. I showed that left hook way too much. That was a good left hook to the body. See, when you throw them for the rear hand, they can be straight. It's just when you're on the inside and you're throwing lead hand that you have to throw it in more of an uppercut fashion. It's just the mechanics of it. See, there's an oblique kick. Yeah, forget about throwing those a lot. I actually remembered a lot more while I was doing the shadow boxing challenge. But yeah, there again, I roll, tempo, throw a shot. Again, it's from not hitting the bag or sparring or anything like that, where you roll and immediately have to throw. We're doing mitt work, if you're doing mitt work with someone who knows what they're doing, to where you can, get your defensive maneuvers in too. And you have to be on time because they're waiting for you. Good knees to the bag, very good. I feel like my knees here are better than my knees have been in the past week. Very straight. Just like I got burned out on shadow boxing. I've been getting burned out in the bag recently. Which I wish I would have got burned out of it before I hurt myself. I don't know. It's already feeling slightly better, so I think I'll be fine. Just gonna take like a day or two of rest. And if it's feeling better, like later today, I might go for a swim just to get something in. It's a good flurry. So like again, the exits are real weak. Some good pivots. Again, I don't have any of these combinations worked out ahead of time. If so, you'd see me staring at the bag quite a bit. As you can tell, I'm always either moving or throwing, and the bag's always moving slightly different. So you can't just do a certain combination. You have to then stop the bag or set it up. So I'm just kind of going with the flow. I think that's how you should do bag workouts. If you're doing rote stuff, you should be doing it with the pad work. Point is to get some freedom in you, but it's not as much freedom as shadow boxing, because you have to go off how the bag's moving or you'll hurt yourself. See there, that was the best example of it. Roll, pause, left hook. Still in punching range. I would have got hit in the face. So it's definitely not a good look. Roll, throw. Or roll, pivot out or something, or cut the distance. Sometimes when I'm doing bag workouts, I just like throw something out there just because I want to feel it, It just feels good to throw it. So a lot of these kicks, body kicks, real long range body kicks, it's not because I'm working on anything or anything, it's just I want to try it. That's a good dance around the bag. You should do those. It's like called turning in boxing. Great for MMA, great for boxing. Especially at the earlier stages where people get demoralized by that kind of thing. Pros don't really. Here, like throwing, keeping my hands up real tight, like kickboxing style. Dutch kickboxing style. Very good. Right hook is a monster. Don't get hit by that right hook. Oh. Little bounce on the outside, still killing time while the bag's moving around. Try to stop the bag from swinging so much with the kicks. And speed, oof. Those body shots are legit. Alright, go again. That lead hand down by my waist. It's an issue. Going out. Don't do that. There we go. That was better. I got out of punching the range before I dropped it that time. You gotta keep it up at least outside of punching range. Generally, you can see people's kicks coming if you're like backing away from them and you're not thinking offense anymore. Unless they kick really fast, which is possible. So. All depends on who you're going against or whatever. Now I try to keep my heart rate about what it feels like to be 120. I don't measure it, of course. You would see me like checking. But during those, what I do is I just splits like this until I feel it getting to be about like 160. So not redlining, but high. And then the moving around is me dropping my heart rate back down to what it feels like to be like 120 or so. And then after holding 120 for, 30 seconds or 15 seconds or something like that, it's more than enough time for me to build up the oxygen to go into another big flurry. So that's generally the pacing that I do with bag workouts. Sometimes I'll do like a non-stop kind of thing, but most bag workouts are like this, so that way I can actually test my speed, my hand speed, and get to throw with some power, which feels good and generally is good for you, unless you go too far and you've been working out too hard and you get stuck on the couch. That's a good rotation on that body kick. Those are good, those walking, just if you're just doing it for like health and you don't know much about, and you're starting out with striking. Like even as a what I would call an advanced striker, it's still really good to do those walking teeps because it helps with your balance. Like you want to be perfectly coordinated enough to where you can, after you push off the first teep, you can set up and teep again. And walking teeps are a great way to practice that balance and to improve your cardio. It's a great little sequence where I'm acting like I'm grabbing a single leg. It's the only benefit of this super tall bag. And then throwing a combination right afterwards. Going in between grappling and striking is really good for your striking. So, and honestly, I feel like the first entrance into a takedown is a strike. I wouldn't say that's the wrestling. The wrestling is once you've entered into the grappling exchange and you're sequencing. But really, if you just are an awesome double legger and that's all you got, it's just like that double leg, and then you go into the that's how you wrestle. That's it. Then you're just a striker. Like GSP's wrestling is striking. He'd wait for the right moment. He'd dip and he would strike, and his strike was a double leg. Not like a DC where it's like 3 or 4 different attempts before he's generally throwing you through the air. Sidekicks are good because what's so great about sidekicks is that they your head's so far away from the target when you kick. So when you throw a teep, you're square onto your target, and it's hard to get a real good lean back without being completely off balance and not being able to throw right afterwards or defend right afterwards. So throwing the side kick's great because you have to lean back and you get to so you can still be on balance while leaning back away from the target, and you got your whole arm and the leg is all in the way in the same line away from the opponent's strikes. It's a great defensive technique or beginning a neutral game. Doing some Tysons right now a little bit. A little herky jerky Tysons. But I'm not doing any attacks off the Tyson, so it's because I'm, again, haven't hit the bag in 3 months or so. That transition between defense and offense is huge for striking. And your movement has to go into your striking, and your striking has to go into your movement. See, that was good. That little slip back forth, the movement. There you go. Now I'm starting to get a flow. Yeah. Seems like I can do the roll to body shot fairly well. Just when I go up to the head, that's when I'm having problems. So even if I had to go slow in the beginning, just so it's smooth. Like, smooth is more important than how fast it is with striking. I mean, being smooth is what keeps you from wasting your energy. It's what allows you to be fast and be powerful. So don't try to be fast, try to be smooth. And, there are times where you build your speed, like when you do literal sprints on the bag. You do those with 1-2s and hooks, and now you just do uppercuts, in the air. Yeah, but I can tell I didn't lose my power at all during the shadow boxing and the quarantine. Even some pretty sweet combos. I actually like my elbow work on this video than the last video. But again, my exits are not good. And those are very important. Or you get Stipe, Miocic, Cormier Wund. You don't want that. It's not fun. It's kind of like drive-by left hooks and drive-by right hooks. It's kind of a setup shot, but it's also really good when someone comes by or they run into it. If they don't see it coming, it can still hurt them, even though there's not much on it. It's just like kind of a movement tool, like a blinder. Some real power on these hooks. Getting towards the end of the workout, I think. Good flurry, good head placement. There you go. So yeah, when you're not throwing, in general, you don't want to be in that regular striking, like boxing range, unless you're throwing and you're the one doing you're the one in charge. You want to keep your head as close to the bag or your opponent as possible, or you want to be outside of their range. So when I was on the inside, by slipping your head off to the side of their body or the side of the bag and keeping it as tight as possible is very important to keep them from being able to hit you with any real power. You still gotta watch elbows. That's where elbows really come into play. When you're on the inside, they can still generate quite a bit of power just from a few inches. It's a great way to enter, actually. Like, entering with an elbow, and the rear elbow is actually very useful, and lead elbow, like a lead piercing elbow, so like straightforward. Um, the ones that look like up elbows but aren't thrown like uppercuts, they're thrown out. Those are actually really good. I do that a couple times when entering. Yeah, I don't know if I've gained any power since I've been doing all my bag workouts recently. I definitely see a difference in my pace, my overall pace, and my defense to offense transitions. And actually my chin is up a little bit more in this video than the last one I watched. That was a great little tie section. Especially how I like put the palm of the glove into the front of the bag, just like the face, so you can push off and keep distracting your opponent. Like you want to like be moving his head. If you're not hitting them in the head, you're moving their head, so that way they're always off kilter when you're in the clinch situation. So that's someone practicing there with the switch. Oh, I showed off my shadow box in there, doing the 2 punches and then the big right hand afterwards. Those are actually very useful because it's hard. A lot of people can't keep their balance during missed punches or missed strikes in general, so it's useful to throw strikes in the air into the bag, so you keep your balance during the air shots and then feel what it feels like to hit the bag and hit something solid. Yeah, crossing my legs a lot in this video, like real deep crosses. A lot of those check hooks. It's a good little check hook sequence. It's a great you running away technique. You know, you run away, you pivot off, avoid a straight rush, and hope to catch them behind the ear when they're flying into you. Here I am. So I think that this is going to be, yes, some sprints. Yeah, some straight punch sprints. Let's do this classic Josh Hanspeeder here. That is a 110 kilo man moving right there. I think I was heavier. I think I had gotten heavier recently. It was 113.7 with clothes on. It was like 250. So now I'm like, so I'm assuming my clothes and everything and the sweat, and probably like 248. Yeah, 247. So that's a lot of meat moving around there. Now I'm going to throw the hooks to the body. Same thing. Not bad. I'm definitely not disappointed in my my cardio or my power, speed, or it's It's just the things that are obvious that you kind of need a partner with. The defense-offense transition definitely lacking.
Time.
All right, now it's time for me too. Thanks for watching.